You ever notice how life sneaks up on you? One day you're young, running around without a care, and the next thing you know, you're slowing down. You start feeling those aches a little more, the energy isn't quite what it used to be, and the thought of long walks sounds more exhausting than refreshing. And you know what? That's all right. No one stays young forever. But here's the thing, just because you walk less doesn't mean life has to shrink down to a chair and a television screen. That's what I want to talk to you about today. If you're walking less, don't just sit there and let time slip through your fingers. Because aging isn't just about the body, it's about the mind, the heart, the connections you keep, and the life you continue to build. And if you're not careful, you can lose those things quicker than you think. So today, let's talk about the first two things you need to do if you're moving around less: keeping your mind sharp and staying connected with people. These two, alone, can make all the difference in how you experience life as you age. First, let's talk about keeping the mind sharp. You know what happens when you don't use a tool for a long time? It rusts. It stiffens up, becomes less effective, and sometimes even breaks. Well, the mind works the same way. If you don't use it, it weakens. That's why some folks get older and start feeling lost in their own thoughts. It's not just aging, it's neglect. Now I know what some people think, oh, I'm too old to learn new things. But that's nonsense. Learning isn't just for the young. In fact, learning is even more important as you get older. It keeps you sharp, keeps your thoughts clear, and, most importantly, it keeps you engaged with life. But learning doesn't mean you have to sit in a classroom or go back to school. No, learning can be as simple as reading new books, picking up a new skill, or even just challenging yourself with puzzles or brain games. And let me tell you something, reading isn't just about passing time. It's about feeding your mind. The more you read, the more you understand the world, the more you remember, and the more your brain stays alive. And let's not forget writing. Some of the wisest people I've met in life have been those who took time to write down their thoughts. Whether it's journaling, writing letters, or just jotting down memories, writing is a way to keep your mind engaged. You don't have to be a great writer. You just have to let your thoughts flow. And if you don't know where to start, ask yourself this. What do you want your grandchildren or great-grandchildren to know about life? What stories would you tell them? Write those down. And then there's conversation. The best way to keep your mind active: talk to people, have discussions, debate ideas, ask questions. Too many people get older and start talking less, as if their thoughts don't matter anymore. But they do. Your perspective is valuable. Share it. Because every time you have a good conversation, your brain is exercising. Now, let's move on to something just as important: staying connected with people. This one is tough because I know how easy it is to just keep to yourself. Maybe you live alone. Maybe your kids have their own lives, and your friends don't call as often as they used to. And before you know it, you start accepting loneliness like it's just part of getting old. But let me tell you something. It's not. Loneliness is not just a feeling, it's a health risk. Studies have shown that people who isolate themselves as they age actually age faster. Their health declines quicker, their minds weaken, their emotions dull. And you don't need a study to tell you this. You can feel it. So what do? How do you stay connected when people seem so busy? First, you have to reach out. I know. Some people don't like doing that. They feel like if someone wanted to talk to them, they'd call. But the truth is, life is fast for the younger generations. They don't mean to forget, but they get caught up in their own routines. That doesn't mean they don't care. It just means you might have to take the first step. And there's nothing wrong with that. Call your friends. Check in on your family. Even if it's just a simple, "Hey, how are you doing?" That's enough to keep the connection alive. And if technology isn't your thing, write letters. I can tell you this. Getting a handwritten letter in today's world is a rare and special thing. Imagine how your grandkids would feel if they got a letter from you, sharing a bit of wisdom, a story, or just a few kind words. That's a connection that lasts, and if you really want to stay connected, get involved with something. Whether it's a small community group, a church gathering, or even an online discussion, staying engaged with people keeps you from fading into the background. I've seen folks in their 70s and 80s start using technology just to stay in touch. Some learn how to send emails, others start video calling, and some even get on social media to keep up with their families. And sure, learning something new can be frustrating at first, but so is learning how to drive a car or cook a meal when you were younger. You figured that out, didn't you? This is no different. The point is, don't let yourself disappear from the world just because you walk less. Life is still happening, and you're still a part of it. You just have to make sure you stay connected. So if you're walking less these days, don't just sit still. Keep your mind active and stay connected with people. These two things alone can change the way you experience life as you get older. Because, at the end of the day, what truly makes a person feel alive isn't how far they can walk, it's how much they engage with the world around them. You ever notice how the body talks to you more as you get older? When you were young, you could go all day without a second thought. Running, working, lifting, moving. But now? Now the body reminds you that it's there, whether you like it or not. The joints creak a little more, the back stiffens up, and sometimes just getting up from a chair feels like an achievement. And let's be honest, walking a long way isn't as easy as it used to be. Maybe you don't go on long walks like you did before, or maybe standing for too long wears you out. And that's fine. No one expects you to move like you did at 30, but here's the thing. Just because you're walking less doesn't mean you should stop moving altogether. That brings us to the third key to aging well, keeping your body active in ways that work for you. Now, I know some people hear the word exercise and immediately shut down. They think, oh, I'm too old for that, or I don't have the energy for workouts. But I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. No, I'm talking about small, intentional movements that keep your body engaged and your blood flowing. Because here's what happens when you stop moving. Everything stiffens up. Your muscles weaken, your balance gets worse, and suddenly, small things, like standing up, bending over, or even getting out of bed, start feeling like a struggle. And before you know it, you're moving even less, and the cycle continues. So what can you do? How do you stay active without overdoing it? Start simple. Stretching is one of the best things you can do for your body. Every morning, take a few minutes to stretch your arms, your legs, your back. Move your shoulders in circles, tilt your head from side to side, lift your knees gently. You'd be surprised how much better you feel when you start the day by loosening up your muscles, and if standing stretches are too tough, do them while sitting. Chair exercises are a great way to keep the body moving without putting too much strain on your joints. Lift your legs up and down while sitting. Rotate your ankles. Do small arm lifts, or even hold a light weight like a bottle of water, and lift it up and down. The key is consistency, not intensity. And if you can, try gentle movement activities like yoga, tai chi, or even light dancing. Some people think these are just for younger folks, but let me tell you, there are people in their 80s and 90s doing slow, controlled movements that keep them feeling good. These activities help with balance, flexibility, and circulation, and that's what really matters as you age. Even something as simple as standing up and sitting back down a few extra times a day can help keep your legs strong. If walking is tough, practice standing up from your chair without using your hands. That strengthens your leg muscles and helps you maintain independence longer. And if you can still walk a little, don't stop completely. Even if it's just a few steps around the house, a short walk outside to get fresh air, or pacing back and forth while talking on the phone, every bit of movement matters. Your body was meant to move, and as long as you keep it moving in ways that feel good, you'll feel better longer. But here's the important part. Listen to your body. Don't push yourself too hard. but don't let yourself stop either. Aging isn't about stopping, it's about adapting. Now let's talk about something just as important as moving the body, finding purpose. You ever notice how some people get older and seem like they just fade? It's not because their body stopped working. It's because they lost their reason to wake up every morning. And let me tell you, if you don't have a reason to get up, your body will start acting like it doesn't need to. Purpose isn't just for young folks. It's for everyone. But the difference is, when you're younger, purpose is built into your life. You work, you raise a family, you chase goals. But when you get older, a lot of that shifts. Retirement comes. The kids have their own lives. And suddenly, the days start feeling empty, and that's dangerous. Because when a person feels useless, they start believing they are useless, and that's the beginning of decline. So let me tell you something. You are not useless. You are not done. You still have things to offer, things to experience, and things to contribute. But you have to find what gives you purpose. Now, purpose doesn't have to be something grand. You don't have to start a company or write a book, though you could if you wanted to. Purpose can be something simple but meaningful. For some people, purpose comes from mentorship, sharing their wisdom with younger generations. Maybe that means spending more time with your grandkids, teaching them things they won't learn in school. Maybe it means mentoring someone in your community, giving guidance to younger folks who need it. For others, purpose comes from helping others, volunteering at a local church, helping at a food pantry, or even just being there for a friend who needs a listening ear. Helping others reminds you that you still have something to give. And for some, purpose comes from creativity. Maybe you used to love painting, crafting, woodworking, writing. Why not pick it up again? Creating something, whether it's art, music, or even a home-cooked meal, gives your days meaning. And if you're not sure what your purpose is, try new things. You might be surprised what sparks joy in you. But the bottom line is this: you need a reason to wake up every morning. Something that excites you, even in a small way. Something that makes you feel alive. Because when you have purpose, you don't just exist, you live. So if you're walking less these days, don't just sit still. Keep your body moving in ways that feel good and find something that gives your life meaning. Because when the body and the spirit are engaged, life feels fuller, no matter how old you are. And remember this, you're not done yet. You've still got more life to live, more stories to tell, and more moments to experience. But you have to take action. Move, even if it's just a little. Find something that makes your heart feel full. Because life isn't measured by how far you can walk. It's measured by how much you truly live. You ever notice how people spend a lot of time looking forward or looking back, but hardly ever looking at what's right in front of them? When you're young, you're always chasing something. The next job, the next milestone, the next goal. And when you get older, it's easy to start looking back, thinking about what was, reminiscing about the past, sometimes even dwelling on regrets. But here's the thing. Life isn't happening in the past, and it's not waiting for you in the future. It's right here, right now, and if you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. That brings us to the final, and maybe most important, key to living well as you get older: learning to enjoy life in the moment. Now, this one isn't as simple as it sounds. Because let's be honest, getting older comes with its fair share of challenges. Maybe your body doesn't move like it used to. Maybe you've lost people along the way. Maybe life has changed so much that it feels unfamiliar at times. And it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, the best days are behind me. But let me tell you something. As long as you're breathing, there are still good days ahead. They might look different than the good days of the past, but they are there. You just have to learn how to see them. One of the biggest things that stops people from enjoying life is regret. People look back on their lives and think about all the things they should have done differently. I should have saved more money. I should have spent more time with my family. I should have taken better care of my health. But let me ask you this, what good does that do now? You can't go back and change it. You can't rewrite history. But you know what you can do? You can decide how you're going to live today. Regret is like carrying around a heavy bag of stones. The longer you hold on to it, the more it weighs you down. But if you set it down, if you let go, you free yourself up to actually enjoy what's in front of you. And the same goes for worrying about the future. Too many folks spend their later years worrying about what's coming next. What if I get sick? What if I run out of money? What if I end up alone? But think about it. How many times in your life have you worried about something that never even happened? Worry is just another way of stealing the joy from today. It doesn't protect you. It doesn't change anything. All it does is keep you from enjoying the time you do have. So how do you learn to enjoy life in the moment? How do you shift your focus away from the past and the future and really start appreciating today? Start with the little things, because those are the things that make up a life. A warm cup of coffee in the morning, the sound of birds outside your window, a phone call from a friend, a good laugh, a peaceful afternoon with a book in your hands. These might not seem like big things, but they are the moments that make life rich. Pay attention to them. Be fully present. Don't just go through the motions, really feel the moments you're in. When you eat, taste the food. When you talk to someone, listen to them. When you sit outside, feel the sun on your skin. These are the things that make life feel full. And another thing, don't hold on to grudges. If there's one thing that steals joy faster than anything else, it's resentment. And let me tell you, the older you get, the easier it is to hold on to old wounds. Maybe someone hurt you years ago. Maybe a friend betrayed you. Maybe family members disappointed you. And it's tempting to keep that anger tucked away, like a wound that never quite heals. But you know what? That wound will never heal as long as you keep picking at it. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. It's letting go of the weight that's been holding you down. It's choosing peace over resentment. And let me tell you, peace is a much better way to live. And let's talk about laughter for a moment. When was the last time you really, truly laughed? Not just a chuckle, but a deep, belly-shaking laugh? Because if you can't remember, then you need to find a reason to laugh more. Laughter keeps you young. It lifts your spirit. It reminds you that life doesn't always have to be so serious. Spend time with people who make you smile. Watch a funny movie. Tell old stories that bring back good memories. Find reasons to laugh every single day. Because the moment you stop laughing, life starts feeling heavier. And here's something else. Embrace change instead of resisting it. The world isn't the same as it was when you were young. Technology moves fast. People act differently. Traditions change. And it's easy to feel like things aren't the way they should be. But you know what? Every generation feels that way. Your grandparents probably thought the world had gone crazy when you were young too. Change is part of life. You don't have to like every new thing, but if you spend all your time resisting change, you'll end up feeling frustrated and left behind. Instead, be curious about new things. Try learning a little about the way younger folks do things, even if it seems strange to you. Ask questions, stay engaged. Because the more you keep an open mind, the more you stay connected to life. And finally, find gratitude. If you want to, enjoy life. This is the most important thing. Be grateful for what you have, instead of focusing on what you don't. Grateful for the years you've had. Grateful for the people who love you. Grateful for every morning you wake up and get another chance to live. Because at the end of the day, life isn't about how many miles you've walked. It's about how well you lived those miles. So if you're walking less these days, don't let life slow down with you. Keep your mind engaged. Stay connected with people. Move in ways that feel good. Find purpose in your days. And most of all, enjoy the life you have right here, right now. Because this moment is the only one guaranteed to you. So don't waste it. Live it.